Just pull it up on here. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling it up. I'm just pulling it up on here. You sure it's still live? I can't find that. I'm closing. Sure. Give me 1 second. Let me. There you go. It's come up. All right, this is the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday law class. Also, remember, check out the history class on Monday. You can learn the history that you need to learn, all types of history, biblical history, and all types of history, British history, Jamaican history, history on religions and everything. You can learn all of that if you just log in or coming down to the school on Monday. Then Wednesday is the law class, where you learn the laws and so forth. Then Thursday is what scripture breakdown, where all your questions you can bring. You learn what verses truly mean in the Bible. You learn what this scripture is saying and what that scripture is saying. Because a lot of people will read the Bible but don't understand what it's saying, and that's what scripture breakdowns are there for. So you understand what you're actually reading. Because there's a ton of people that reads the Bible, but how much people actually understand it? Not a lot. And the reason why they don't understand it is because they're not in what scripture breakdown class. So if you want to understand the Bible, that's the class where you need to be at, man. Scripture breakdown class. You learn how to break down all the precepts that you thought meant something else. All the scriptures that you didn't understand. All the scriptures you thought that all this while when you thought the law was done away with, all the scriptures you read thinking you're proving something. Come in here and learn that everything you've learned has been a lie, man. And learn how to really break down the scriptures. Also, check out Commanding Gen.YAHANNA's radio show, which is Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. And then also there's classes Tuesday through Friday. So Tuesday, the Brotherhood class, Wednesday, the law class, Thursday, the scripture breakdown class, Friday, the Lashawan Kodash, which is your language. So log into all those classes. Them ones is in the States from 12 till 2. And then we have them here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9. And everyone knows what Boris Johnson's your new prime minister. Some people are happy, some people are sad. But who gives a damn, man? Obviously, nothing changes for black people. Nothing ain't changed for black people from Tony Blair was in the White 10 Downing Street. Who came in after him? Was it David Cameron? David Cameron, nothing changed then. Theresa May, nothing changed then. Now Boris Johnson, nothing's going to change now. I see black people talking about, now Boris Johnson is in 10 Downing Street. We're really in hell. People are saying, the reason it's so hot is because we're getting ready for Boris Johnson's hell. Have you heard people say that, posting memes? People are posting memes saying, it's 38 degrees because what? Boris Johnson's in 10 Downing Street. Listen, man. Boris Johnson's an idiot. He always was an idiot, and he's still going to be an idiot. But nothing ain't going to change for you, man. And this is why, instead of us voting all the time and building the white man's kingdom, why don't we build our own, man? Why don't we separate ourselves from their kingdom and build our own? When Boris Johnson talks about United Kingdom and Great Britain, he ain't including you, man. Just the other day, Boris Johnson was talking about black people have a watermelon smile, man. The black people have a watermelon smile, whatever the hell that means. And guess what? Now people are voting for Boris. Now people are happy Boris Johnson's in charge. The same Boris Johnson that couldn't make a sandwich the other day, man. Now he's gonna run the country. Some people are afraid, some people are happy, but who cares, man? Let Boris Johnson do what he does best, destroy things, man. Listen, whenever they mess up, it's their kingdom they're messing up, man. It's nothing to do with us. Everything that white people scared and anxious about, black people hear and get anxious too. When really, there's nothing for you to get anxious about, man. You're still trying to run away from the police. You're still what? Living in the same ghetto. You're still going through black on black crime. Black men still killing one another. Our women is still single mothers. Obviously, we need to fix our kingdom on our own, man. That's what we need to fix. We should be anxious about those things. Who cares what Boris Johnson's doing, man? Who cares what Boris Johnson's gonna cut about all the tax cuts? Who cares if Boris Johnson wants to leave Brexit? Who cares, man? Let Boris Johnson do what Boris Johnson needs to do, man.
Right.
That's his problem. We've got our own problems that we need to solve. Listen, Boris Johnson don't care about our problems. They don't care about the black on black crime. Boris Johnson don't care about what single black mothers and black men on child support. Boris Johnson don't care about those things. So why do we care about his things? This is Great Britain where there's two sides, man. There's one side of so-called Great Britain which goes unnoticed, and that happens to be your side, man. There's two sides to the stick, and you're always getting the short end of the stick, man. But you still vote and still believe, oh yeah, I got part in this kingdom. But type in Boris Johnson's first speech. We're gonna get Boris Johnson's first speech since he became the prime minister. Boris Johnson, about one of the dumbest men on the planet. Now, this is Boris Johnson's first speech since he.
Well, are you sure? Read it out.
Probably can just read it out. It's up to you, you know, whichever one, whether you want to play it or read it out. Boris Johnson. Yeah, no, sorry. Then you're gonna see Boris Johnson's first speech. He made a few promises. So you know, that's gonna make black people happy for a bit. Boris Johnson said what? He's gonna employ 20,000 more police. What does that mean? That means 20,000 more people have a chance to murder you, man. That's all that means. You think his employee? You think Boris Johnson's getting the police for your sake? Listen, man. This is all a strategy, man.
To see Her Majesty the Queen, who has invited me to form a government, and I have accepted. I pay tribute to the fortitude and patience of my predecessor, her deep sense of public service. But in spite of all her efforts, it has become clear that there are pessimists at home and abroad who think, after 3 years of indecision, that this country has become a prisoner to the old arguments of 2016. And in this home of democracy, we are incapable of honouring a democratic mandate. And so I am standing before you today to tell you, the British people, that those critics are wrong. The doubters, the doomsters, the gloomsters, they are going to get it wrong again. The people who bet against Britain are going to lose their shirts because we're going to restore trust in our democracy. And we're going to fulfill the repeated promises of Parliament to the people and come out of the EU on October the 31st.
Pause that.
No ifs.
He said they're going to come out of what? The EU, October the 31st. He said no ifs and no buts. Listen, man, they've been meant to have been coming out of the EU from a long time ago. Now Boris Johnson saying they're going to come out. Listen, whether they stay in or come out, who cares, man? The Lord don't care what they do, but the Lord wants you to come out of Great Britain, man.
Right.
Meaning what? Take your spirit out of this place. Stop giving your love to this place. That's what that means to come out of this place. It don't mean what? It don't mean book a flight to somewhere, to some jungle somewhere and just live amongst nobody. He ain't talking about that, man. He's talking about living here and being separate, meaning not joining the white man's affairs, not caring about his affairs. Go ahead.
4 buts. And we will do a new deal, a better deal, that will maximize the opportunities of Brexit while allowing us to develop a new and exciting partnership with the rest of Europe, based on free trade and mutual support. I have every confidence that in 99 days' time, we will have cracked it. But you know what? We aren't going to wait 99 days, because the British people have had enough of waiting. The time has come to act, to take decisions, to give strong leadership and to change this country for the better.
Pause that a minute. And he said, what? To take strong leadership and to change this country for the better. Everybody that gets that position says, I'm going to change this country for the better. They're not going to go up there and say, I'm going to make the country worse off. You know why? Because obviously, no, they're not going to be in office long, so they have to lie to you. We've been caught up by their lies too much, believing their lies, man. Listen, who hasn't said they're going to make the country better?
Right.
It's like a woman asking you, would you ever cheat on me? You're not going to say yes. It's like a woman asking you, would you ever cheat on me? Obviously, what are you going to say? You're going to lie and say, no, I would never do such a thing. That's the same thing Boris Johnson's doing, man. He's lying, man, because he can't be asked with the headache, so he's just telling you lies and people believe it. We've become naive and silly and just believe anything nowadays. Press play on that.
And though the Queen has just honoured me with this extraordinary office of state, my job is to serve you, the people. Because there is one point
pause that.
Need to remember.
And he said his job is to what? Serve you, the people. Now, when he's talking about you, he ain't talking that you, black people's not included in that you. Because he said black people look like they have a watermelon smile, which lets you know he hates black people and you're not included in that you. The people that he's serving, he's talking about the people that around him right there, which is all white people. Only white people, listen, only white people go to these, when a new prime minister's raised up, only white people go to the office with signs and go to hear the speech. Black people ain't into that, man. We don't really go them things, man. We just see it on the news, man. That's how we see it. Press play on that.
Remember, it is that the people are our bosses.
The people are what? He said the people are our bosses. Listen, man, black man, though, you think that includes you? You think Boris Johnson sees you as one of his bosses? No, man. He's talking about pleasing white people. He's talking about pleasing middle-class white people, man, and higher-class white people. And black man, you're lower class. And he sees you as lower class and knows you're lower class. He ain't talking about pleasing you, man. Go ahead.
To make your streets safer.
He's going to what?
I'm going to be.
He said he's going to make the street safer. All that means is what? He's going to put more black men in jail. That's what it means by making the street safer. Because you know what? You know why Boris Johnson's speaking like this? Because crime has reached the part of London where they live in now, man. All these moped gangs robbing rich white folks, rich white folks Rolexes, robbing people outside schools. First, it was just in our neighborhood. Now it's spilled out to their neighborhood. So now he's saying he's going to make the street safer. And this is why, I don't know if you've noticed, anyone that sells drugs in the ghetto, they last way longer than anyone that goes to sell drugs in the suburbs, man. As soon as you go to sell drugs in the suburbs and your face don't fit, they see a black man in a car, what's he doing around this area? Police swoop on you, man. You know why? Because they don't want you selling drugs to their people. And also, they don't want you in their neighborhoods, man. But you can destroy your own neighborhood. In the ghetto, guess what you can do in the ghetto? You can sell drugs to one another. You can shoot and stab one another. And this is why when you stab someone near a white, near what white people esteem as a good area, they'll say things like, "Oh, it was close to the London. It was what? It was one. This was an extremely dangerous attack. It was 1 mile away from the London Bridge." Who cares about the London Bridge, man? They don't care about that someone got stabbed. They just care that it was close to their monuments, it was close to where they like to go sightseeing, it was close to where they like to sit on the beach, it was close to where they like to have picnics. That's all they care about, man. They don't want you to bring violence to their suburbs, but you're allowed to destroy yourself in the ghetto that they give you, man. In the piece of the city that they don't care about, the piece of the city where the bin men don't come out for 2 weeks. The part of the city where the bin men go on strike, where you're allowed to fly tip, where you're allowed to dump trash. Listen, man, when people dump trash, where do they dump it? They dump it in the ghetto under the subway, man, because they know nobody don't care about it. Where don't the bin men come? The bin men go on strike for 2 weeks. The bin men come out fortnightly in the ghetto, but in white neighborhoods, the bin man comes out every 2 days. In white neighborhoods, they have a man that drives around with a van that waters the flowers, man. That waters the flowers. How do I know this? Because there was one time when I worked in some damn white man's area and I was doing a patrol at night and the police thought I was a burglar, man. I'm trying to show them my badge like, yo, I'm at work right now. They're saying, phone your manager and prove it. I'm saying, yo, I'm at work right now. I'm saying, don't the badge prove I'm at work? They're saying, we're not being funny, but it's like 3 a.m. and you're walking around. So after that, guess what I done? I just went to the workplace and never ever went on patrol again, man. I ain't getting shot by the damn police over a job. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and this is my excuse to do no patrols. And they targeted me like that because what? I was black in a white neighborhood, man. The white people even used to look at me funny. I went in the shop to go get a hot chocolate one of the mornings. Some old white woman was staring at me, man. I couldn't even drink a hot chocolate in peace, man. Where was this? This is Northfield before it became a big ghetto, when it was just all white people up there. I couldn't even drink my hot chocolate in peace, man. Press play on that. Let's just quickly get some more of that before jump off it.
With another 20,000 police on the streets, and we start.
Hold on, he's gonna do what? Pause that. He said he's gonna put 20,000 police on the streets. And guess why? He's gonna put 20,000 police on the streets? Because us as black people can't behave, man. That's why. Now, if we could behave, those police, there would be no money for those police to get paid, man. But because we can't behave, we go to jail. We work for £8 a week in jail. When really they're making loads of us. And then we pay all these court fees to a solicitor or legal aid and so forth. We pay all of those things. And then they use that money to fund the police. And then black men say they hate the police. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how you really hate the police. By stop being a criminal, man. Right. You hit them where it hurts, man. You don't do no crime. That's how you hate the police. By you hating the police, you'll never sell drugs. Right. You know why? Because you hate the police and you don't want them to put 20,000 police on the streets, man. By you hating the police, what? You don't kill your brother, man. You don't hate your brother. You know why? Because you don't want them to put 20,000 police on the streets. You want them to have no police on the streets, man. How about this? We all come into I.S.U.P.K and we police our own communities, man. Right. Which means what? No black man doesn't have to worry about getting shot. He don't have to worry about getting his face flung into the concrete, man. He don't have to worry about not getting a fair trial, man. He don't have to worry about those things if we would stop committing crime. But guess what? Really, we love the police, man. You know why we love the police? That's why we sell drugs, because we want to see more of them. You know why we love the police? Because we kill our brother. So that means we want to see more police. And this is why they're putting 20,000 extra police in the streets, man. Because we don't know how to deal with one another. Press play on that.
My job is to make sure you don't have to wait 3 weeks to see your GP.
Pause that. He goes, you're going to make sure you don't have to wait 3 weeks to see your GP. Listen, man. Boris Johnson right there. All this is for white people, man. Press play.
Work this week with 20 new hospital upgrades and ensuring that the money for the NHS really does get to the front line. My job is to protect you or your parents or grandparents from the fear of having to sell your home to pay for the cost of care. And so I am announcing now on the steps of Downing Street that we will fix the crisis in social care once and for all with a clear plan we have prepared to give every older person the dignity and security they deserve. My job is to make sure your kids get a superb education wherever they are.
Pause that. Boris Johnson said his job is to make sure our kids get a superb education wherever they are. Listen, man, we've already done the lecture on where they make black kids stay behind, man, on where they don't give their all to black kids. They just let black kids just mess around in class. They let them be the class clown. You know why? Because the teacher don't care about black kids. They're just there for a paycheck. And they only care about these white kids and give these white kids. What do they give them? Is it extra classes? They give these white kids, listen, they don't give these black kids extra classes. Because first of all, this kingdom set up for you to fail, man. You think they want you to, you think they want you to what? Do good and get a better job than them? No, man. Because they want you to be a slave forever. They want you to be a slave from ever. So from young, they know what? The school curriculum system, to say you go through school, you go through to secondary school, you get your GCSEs, you go to uni. They would rather black people get kicked out of school, man. Guess where they send black people? To what's that place where they send all the Bridge Center? Yeah, man. This is where all the black kids end up going. Bridge Center. No word of a lie. They got one in Newtown. I think it's called Link Center. They got one in Newtown, and then guess what happens? Black kids meet up with other black kids who are all rude, who are all kicked out of school, and then that's mostly the where the beginning of their criminal life, man. Because they meet people like themselves, and then guess what happens? They be like, "Yo, we kicked out of school. Let's do this, let's do that." Then they start hanging together, and then before you know it, they're in jail at the age of 15. And then when they come out of jail, the white man sees it as they can't be fixed, they're not salvageable. And then what happens? Your whole life is you have to sell drugs if you want to eat. Because you do your time, but the white man puts it on your record to where you can't even get a job, man. This is why these jobs ask for your criminal record, because they know black people's got records, man. You think they don't know? They know, man. And that ginger-haired white boy that goes to the interview alongside you, he ain't got no criminal record. The one that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he ain't got no criminal record, man. But you do. So this whole system is designed to keep you back. Press play on that.
Why we have already announced that we're going to level up per pupil funding in primary and secondary schools. And that is the work that begins immediately behind that black door. And though I am today building a great team of men and women, I will take personal responsibility for the change I want to see. Never mind the backstop, the buck stops here. And I will tell you something else about my job. It is to be Prime Minister of the whole United Kingdom. And that means uniting our country, answering at last the plea of the forgotten people and the left behind towns by physically and literally renewing the ties that bind us together. So that with safer streets and better education and fantastic new road and rail infrastructure and full fibre broadband, we level up across Britain with higher wages, higher living wage, higher productivity. We close the opportunity gap, giving millions of young people the chance to own their own
homes.
That? And giving...
It said giving many young people the chance to own their own homes. That don't apply to black people, man. You know why? Because they make sure you're left behind in school, so you don't get a good job to be able to afford your own home. And then he said what? They're going to raise the minimum wage, the living wage. You see, when they do raise the living wage, it don't make a difference. You know why? Because they raise the what? They raise the what? The minimum wage, and then guess what happens when they raise the minimum wage? The price of bus fare goes up, man. They raise minimum wage. A Freddo chocolate that used to be 10p now costs 70p, man. So them raising minimum wage, everything else goes up with that. Them raising minimum wage, the rent goes up. A cinema ticket used to, how much was a cinema ticket before? Like £6, £7?
Yeah, £7.
Now it's like £13, 13, 14. Now it's like £13, £14, man. Now it's like £13, £14, man. when it used to be £6. So them raising minimum wage, the price on everything gets raised. So really, it's like you're still on minimum wage. It's just all in your mind. Yeah, I'm on £14 an hour. Guess what? That chocolate bar that used to be 10p is now like 150. A can of Coke, they add sugar tax on it now, man. They add sugar tax on it now, man, that you have to pay more. All these things, the price on everything goes up. Press play on that.
Business the confidence to invest across the UK. Because it is time we unleashed the productive power, not just of London and the South East, but of every corner of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The awesome foursome that are incarnated in that red, white, and blue flag, who together are so much more than the sum of their parts, and whose brand and political personality is admired and even loved around the world for our inventiveness, for our humour, for our universities, our scientists, our armed forces, our diplomacy, for the equalities on which we insist, whether race or gender or LGBT or the right of every girl in the world to 12 years of quality education, the values we stand for around the world. Everyone knows the values that flag represents. It stands for freedom and free speech and habeas corpus and the rule of law.
Pause that. He said that great British flag stands for what? Freedom and free speech. That's a lie, man. That don't apply to us. A black man ain't never had more freedom in this place, man.
Right.
And we can barely get free speech as well. This is why what happens at camp, the police want to come up and say, oh, you can't offend people, even though we speak in the words of the Lord. Oh, if someone don't like it, they have the right to call the police and blah, 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 blah. I thought we had freedom of speech, man. We don't have freedom of speech. And we don't have freedom, man. And this is why what? Most of these young kids whose fathers have been deported, they can only speak to them on a video call, man. Because we don't have freedom. There's no such thing as freedom, not for us. Anyway, drop that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. We'll get into a few scriptures. That's it. I'm getting tired of hearing Boris Johnson's voice, to be fair. I don't want to hear no more of his lies.
Deuteronomy 4 and 5. But ye, 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
Listen, man, the Lord only taught us these things, statutes and judgments. You thinking Boris Johnson's gonna have morals? You thinking Boris Johnson's gonna be a man of his word? He ain't gonna be a man of his word, man, because he ain't been taught morals. He ain't been taught laws. He ain't been taught judgments. He don't know those things, man. Those things was given to us. You're going to white people to have the things which the Lord only gave to us to have. White people ain't supposed to have standards, man. White people ain't supposed to have morals. White people ain't supposed to keep their word. They're meant to be liars, man. They're meant to be deceivers. They're meant to be the devil the Bible speaks of, man. That's why the Lord calls them these things the border of wickedness. They ain't meant to have morals. So you go into them thinking they're going to keep their word. You go into the wrong person, man. Go ahead.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land wherever you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them.
And the Lord gave us his laws and keep therefore and do them. So what we need to do is keep God's laws and do them. We ain't supposed to what? Listen to Boris Johnson, listen to David Cameron, listen to Theresa May, listen to Tony Blair, because obviously they're meant to be liars. And by you listening to them, you're just going to get your heart broke, man. You're just going to get your heart broke. And you're going to be like, you know what? You're going to be like, you know what? Oh, man, Theresa May lied to me. Let me give David Cameron a try. You're going to go, oh, David Cameron lied to me. Then you're going to go and vote for Boris Johnson. Let me give Boris Johnson a try. Listen, man, you're going to keep going around in circles, man. When the one you're supposed to trust is your King Yahushua, man, who ain't going to break his promises, who lived up to everything he said he would, man, who died for you, man. Go ahead.
God. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
And these laws was our wisdom, which makes you wise, man, in the sight of these other nations, which means these other nations don't have this wisdom. So how are we happy to put them above us when they don't have this wisdom? They ain't meant to be wise. I mean, you're looking at Boris Johnson like he's supposed to. Listen, Boris Johnson can't make a sandwich, man. And I understand that, man, because the Lord didn't give him wisdom, man. The Lord didn't make him wise, man. The Lord didn't give white men ability. It's you that believe they have ability when they don't have ability. You're trying to set a nation of people over you, which is like a grown baby. You're trying to set a nation over you, which is like a grown baby, man, who ain't got no wisdom, who ain't wise. You're setting those people over you, man. Go ahead.
In the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a
Surely
wise,
what?
This great nation.
And listen, Boris Johnson, he's talking about, oh, he's going to change Britain, he's going to change this, he's going to change that. These people don't have the capability, man. The Lord said, we meant to be a wise nation, man. And these other nations are supposed to look at us like we wise, man. They, listen, Boris Johnson's supposed to be phoning our phone saying, you know what, I think you need to take over, man. Boris Johnson should be phoning us saying, you know what, you have the answer to knife crime, man. You have the answer to fixing black people, man. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in 10 Downing Street and I'm going to say, this is only for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. I'm going to say, listen, I'm only here to fix my people, man. Boris Johnson's only there to fix his people. He ain't there to fix your people. He's only there to fix his people, talking about the NHS. You know how you know he's not talking about us? Because a lot of black people ain't even on the NHS, right? I don't even believe black people are we even on the NHS? No, not the NHS. What's the private one? The private one? What's the private one? What's the private one that all white people use? I can't remember what it's called. Not the NHS. The NHS is the free one. What's it called? I.S.U.P.K. Listen, man. Only rich people can afford that, man. Only rich people can afford that. What did the last prime minister say? They was getting rid of NHS. See, they said they was getting rid of the NHS, and then everyone caused a big uproar about it. And what's Boris Johnson done now? Said he's gonna put more money into it. He's lying, man. Listen, they're just testing your reaction with all of these things. Just let them do whatever they want, man. Go ahead.
Surely this great
Forget
nation,
the NHS. How about this? How about we just serve God so we don't get sick, man? And then we won't need them, man. Go ahead.
Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
And we meant to be wise and understanding, but in this present day, it seems like we ain't wise, and it seems like we got no understanding. Because if you can be happy that a white man sitting in 10 Downing Street ruling over you, making all these calls, making all these decisions, talking about LGBTQ community, talking about they're allowed to have gay pride parade, they're allowed to do this, they're allowed to do that, everyone's allowed to do whatever they want. If you're happy about that, you clearly can't be wise and understanding when the Lord said we're supposed to be a wise and understanding people. Go ahead.
For what nation is there so great?
For what?
For what nation is there so great?
And we need to get back to our greatness, man. We need to get back to our greatness. And by getting back to our greatness, the first thing we need to do is separate ourselves, man. Separate ourselves from Boris Johnson and the white man and all his holidays and his belief system. Go ahead.
God, who have God so nigh unto them.
Who have what?
God so nigh unto them.
Who have God so near unto them, man? Only us. You're trusting in a man who God's nowhere close to, man. You're trusting in a man that don't even believe in God, man. You're trusting in a man who God can't stand, man.
Right.
You're trusting in a nation who God's got war with, man. God loves you and hates them, but you're putting all your trust in them and all your trust not in God. And then you wonder why you've been in the same position for the last, 10 years, 20 years? Some of our grandmas been in the same position from the 60s and the 50s. You know why? Because they keep doing the same thing time and time again. Go ahead.
God, as the Lord of God is in all things that we call upon him for.
What verse you at? Hey, give me Deuteronomy 29 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy 29 and 1. These are the words of the covenant.
And listen, the Lord made a covenant with us, an agreement, man. Go ahead.
Which the Lord commanded Moses, to make the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Ye have seen all that the Lord did before your
And
eyes.
he said, you've seen all what the Lord did before our eyes, man. Our forefathers saw things which the Lord did, man. Go ahead.
In the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh.
In the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, what did the Lord do? He destroyed Pharaoh and them Egyptians, man.
Right.
And same way the Lord's going to destroy this white man again. So why are you voting for him, man? Our forefathers seen what the Lord did to Pharaoh. And the Lord's raising the same white man up so he can do the same thing to show his power. And you should be voting for our King Yahushua, man. That's who you should be voting for. But instead, you're voting for the very same people that the Lord's going to destroy. Go ahead.
And unto all his servants, and unto all his land.
And unto what? All his servants, man. All his other politicians and all his other race, his other people of his race and whatnot. The Lord destroyed them Egyptians, man. The same way the Lord destroyed them Egyptians is the same way he's going to destroy Boris Johnson and his race of people. So by you voting for them, you're just doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the Lord a disservice as well. How are you trying to save the people that the Lord's trying to destroy?
Right.
Listen, that don't make no sense, man. Go ahead.
The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles.
Listen, man, the signs and those great miracles. Anybody that claims they believe in the Bible shouldn't be voting, man. If you're black and Hispanic, you have an agreement, man. You have an agreement that says you can't vote for a white man. You have an agreement with the Lord that says you can't vote for the white man, man. And guess what? After all these things was read, what did you say? You said, yes, you agree that you know you can't vote. So if you voting for the white man, you're breaking the agreement you made with God, man. And breaking an agreement you have with God comes with consequences. It comes with consequences, man. And there's consequences to you voting for Boris Johnson. There's consequences for you voting for Theresa May. There's consequences for you loving Great Britain, man. There's consequences for you loving the people the Lord hates, man. Go ahead.
God. And the Lord have not given you a heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, and unto this day, and I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not waxed old upon you.
Listen, man. They was in the wilderness for 40 years, man. And they what?
And your clothes have not waxed old upon you.
Listen, man. They was in the wilderness for 40 years, man. And their clothes hadn't waxed old upon them, meaning what? The Lord took care of them. Go ahead.
And your shoes is not waxed old upon your foot.
And listen, man, their shoes weren't even broke down and leaned off like these women's Uggs that you see. These women's Uggs that you see where they all lean all the way off. Listen, man, the Lord didn't have your Uggs like that in the wilderness, man. The Lord didn't have your Uggs lean off like that in the wilderness, man. Go ahead. Meaning the Lord took care of us. That's what that's talking about. And nowadays, what do? We go to white people to take care of us. Listen, you know how you know the Lord takes care of us? Because but at this rate now, every black and Hispanic should be dead, man. It seems like the more the white man oppresses us, is the more we grow. Same like in Egypt. The more the Egyptians oppressed us, the more we grew, man. Like if you look at how we've been treated, if it wasn't for a miracle, right? If it wasn't for the Lord, black people wouldn't be here, man. Look at how we treated us: enslaved, murdered by the police, lynched, hanged, shot to death, black on black crime. And guess what? We're still here, man. You know why we're still here? That's because the Lord still wants us to be here, man.
Right.
When really, when you look at it, when you look at the statistics, there should be no way, shape, or form that we should even still be here. You ain't here because of the white man. You're here because of the Lord. Because if the white man had it his way, he would have you not here. He would have you not here, man. And this is why, what did he do? Bring you over in the 60s to work in the factories. Then now he wants to send you back because he believes his kingdom's flourishing now. This place, there's a ton of money being pumped into it. So he's basically saying, yeah, we don't need you no more. You can go back now. Read on.
And ye have not eaten, and ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Lord your God.
From there, jump to Lamentations 4:17. Listen, man, the Lord takes care of us. We don't need to ask the white man for a thing, man. We don't need to ask him for what? Oh, I need your NHS. I need you this, I need you that. We don't need to ask him, man. If we came together, we could do all these things for one another, man.
Right.
We could do all these things for one another. No black man would have to stay in Salvation Army. No black man would have to stay in Salvation Army if we just came together. But obviously, the way we deal with one another, now we have to go to white people with Salvation Army. Like there was once upon a time when you could bring a black man in your house. Nowadays, you can't do that. You know why? Because you probably wake up to everything stolen, man. You wake up, your TV's gone, the pillow covers is gone, the food from the fridge is gone, because we ain't got no brotherhood towards one another, man. You wake up, almost everything will be stolen out of your house. Once upon a time, we could leave our door open. You can't do that now. You leave your door open, you hear someone rolling your car off the drive, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Because we don't the way we live, man. Last night we had thunder and lightning, man. I wasn't too sure if it was thunder or some nigga with a Mac 10, man. That's how we live in now. I wasn't too sure if it was thunder or someone with a Mac 10, man. Go ahead.
Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help.
It says, as for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. And then what? After David Cameron handed in his notice, black people realized he was vain help. After Theresa May cried during her speech and resigned, we realized that was vain help.
Right.
After Tony Blair done the same thing, we realized that was vain help. And Boris Johnson's going to do the same thing also. And then people are going to realize that's vain help. How much vain help are we going to cry out for, man? How much times are we going to go to white people for vain help? Go ahead.
In our watching, we have watched for a
In
nation.
our watching, man. That's what we do. We watch, man. We watch white people and be like, these people rule the earth, man. Maybe they could save us. Maybe they're the answer to all our problems. Maybe they're the answer to all our troubles, man. That's what we do. We watch the news and think maybe they're the answer to everything, man. We watch. Go ahead.
We have watched for a nation that could not save us.
We have watched for a nation that could not save us. We expect what? Boris Johnson's 20,000 extra police officers to save us.
Right.
When they're the same ones killing us, man. We expect what? Boris Johnson changing the curriculum system to save us. When that's not going to save us, man. Only a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, man, can save us. That's the only thing that can save us. But we looking for vain help, meaning worthless help, man. That's what we looking for. We looking for the white man to save us, and he ain't got the answers to our problems. He can't solve our problems. You know why? Because Boris Johnson ain't never grew up in the ghetto. He don't know how black people think, man. He don't know how black people grow up. He's been raised with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's been raised with a silver spoon in his mouth, man. He don't know. Listen, Boris Johnson don't know about what? Corned beef and hard bread for dinner, man.
Right.
Boris Johnson don't know them kind of struggles. You're going to a man that's had a silver spoon in his mouth, who's lived in the nicest parts of the city. How's he supposed to relate to a man in the ghetto? How's he supposed to relate to a man that's grew up in a single parent household? How's he supposed to relate to a black man when he's not black, man?
Right.
He can't relate, man. He can only relate to his people. And when we in power, we ain't gonna be able to relate to the white man, man. Listen, when we in power, I'm not gonna know what it's like for a white man. I'm not gonna know what it's like to live in a cave. I can't relate, man. I'm not gonna know, man. Go ahead.
For a nation that could not save us, they hunt our steps.
The same nation that we go to save us, that same nation hunts our steps, man.
Right.
We go to that nation to save us, and that's the very same nation that's destroying us, man. They say 20,000 extra police on the street to save us, and them same 20,000 police officers is going to hunt our steps. Them same 20,000 police officers is going to put you in jail for not paying your child support, even though we don't go jail for that over here, do we?
Oh, sorry.
No. They just take your driving license, they take your passport, they take away your livelihood, which means what? If you don't pay child support, you're not allowed. You can't drive your car no more. So basically, you see everything that you love to do in life, they take it away from you. They take it away from you, man. That's what these 20,000 police is here to be there when you run in the country line, man. What do they call the country line? When you run in the country line, these 20,000 police is what? This is extra police on that country route where you like to go and sell your drugs, man. Meanwhile, you thought these police came to save you? No, man. Go ahead.
That we cannot go in our streets. The end is near. Our days are fulfilled.
The end is near, man. Our days are fulfilled. Go ahead.
For our end is come.
For our end is come, man. Listen, when you're around white people, it seems like your end's there right now. Every time the police pull you over, but drop that, give me Proverbs 29 and verse 2. They hunt our steps, the same people that we look for help. The same people we go to for help is the same people doing the damage on us, man. The same people putting a beating on us, man. Give me Proverbs 29 and
Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
It says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And the righteous ain't in authority, and we ain't rejoicing. But black man, we understand that you see that the righteous ain't in authority, but because you're a little brainwashed, you think by voting for different prime ministers is going to put someone righteous in authority. That's not going to put someone righteous in authority, because the people you're voting for ain't righteous. That's number one. Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
And black man, we understand that you want change, but the wicked is in authority. So this is what you do. You get Tony Blair out of there and put David Cameron in there because you want change, because you see the wicked's ruling. Guess what? David Cameron is as wicked as Tony Blair. Then guess what happens? You take David Blair, what's his name again? David Cameron out of there, and then you vote for who? Theresa May, because you see that David Cameron's wicked and you want someone righteous in authority because you're mourning, and then you put Theresa May in there and realize that she's wicked also. And then once you realize Theresa May is wicked, you vote again, get her out of there and put who in there? Boris Johnson, not realizing Boris Johnson's wicked too.
Right.
And then after this, you're going to put somebody else in there, and they're going to be wicked too, and they're going to be wicked too, and they're going to be wicked too, until you get up in the I.S.U.P.K and follow this leadership, man. Follow this leadership, because everywhere else on the face of the earth is wickedness under these white people, man. Read that from the top.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
And when the righteous is in authority, you wouldn't need to keep changing leadership every week, man. When did Theresa? How long was Theresa May in office? It wasn't that long, was it? Was it about what? About 3 years max, I'd say. Theresa May was in there 3 years maximum, man. David Cameron was in there for a few years also. Listen, man. How it worked with us is what? A king would be in there until he dies or gets too old, man. That's how we would do it, man. And then what? A next king would reign in his stead. This white man, he's in there for his reign lasts about 2 years, man, 3 years. And you want change, so you vote, because you don't know what it truly means. You don't know how to truly get change. And this is why we're teaching you the I.S.U.P.K how to get change, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And you're mourning, and this is why you're changing around the leadership left, right, and center. And you keep putting more white men in there, more white men in there, more white men in there. Well, guess what that means? There's just going to be more mourning, and more mourning. You're going to keep mourning, man. As long as you put white people in there, you're going to keep mourning, and you're going to keep having the same problems. You're going to keep having the same issues. Nothing in your life is going to change, man. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 7.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7.
You say the DJ's not too bad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely what?
Oppression maketh a wise man
Say,
mad.
surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And listen, man, ain't nobody more oppressed than us. And oppression should make you so mad that you do this. that you say, damn the white man and get up in the I.S.U.P.K, man. That's what oppression should make you do, man. This white man's oppression. You seen Boris Johnson in office should let you say, damn the white man and let me get up in the I.S.U.P.K. That's what you should say. But if you're not saying that, surely you don't feel like you're being oppressed. You feel like you're British. You feel like you taking black British on the phone makes you a British citizen and makes everybody love you. And listen, man, you take black British on the form, the white man more than likely throws it away. You take that on the form and he throws it away. If your name's Craig or something, chances are you ain't getting the job you applied for. If your name's Craig or whatever, you ain't getting that job that you applied for, man. The white man don't want to hire no Craigs, man. He don't want to hire no Tyrones. He don't want to hire those people, man. Go ahead. And this is why when the roles reverse, we ain't hiring no we ain't hiring no damn what names what we ain't hiring no damn Jimmys. Jimmy ain't gonna be able to cut my grass, man. Jimmy ain't getting the job, man. Go ahead.
And the gift destroys the heart.
And the gift destroys the heart, man. You're oppressed, and someone just gives you a gift, and that destroys everything that you was oppressed about, man. Listen, man. You're oppressed, and the white man says, you know what? Oh yeah, we're gonna give free NHS, and you no longer oppressed no more because you get free NHS care now. You was oppressed before. The white man says to you what? The white man says to you what? Oh, don't worry, we're gonna equal opportunities. We're gonna make sure you people can buy a house now. Straight away, what? Everything that you was oppressed about, it now goes away. And it says a gift destroys the heart. And guess what? The white man gives it. The white man, the gift that the white man gives you, he gives you words, and he don't actually give you the gift, man. At least get the gift. He don't even give you the gift. He just tells you lies, and your oppression goes away just like that. He appeases you, man. He lies to you and calms you down. And this is why when they shoot a black man dead, black people pipe up for a bit. The white man gives you a few words, and then it appeases your oppression. He tells you, don't worry, we all one people. Listen, nobody else outside of us even remembers Mark Duggan, man. Nobody outside of us even remembers Rashawn Charles. Nobody remembers, man. Only we remember these things. Because what? We oppressed, man, and we ain't letting no gift destroy us, man. The white man could give us what? All the money in the world. We ain't gonna forget. We're still gonna be oppressed, man. Money don't mean nothing to us, man. You can't buy us, man. You ain't gonna buy us. You can buy. Probably can buy everybody else, but you ain't gonna buy us, man. We oppressed, man, and we understand. And the oppression led us to the I.S.U.P.K, man.
Right.
The oppression made us run through this door, man. And that's where this oppression should lead you to run. Don't be going to church, because church is just false hope. Church is vain hope. Church can't save black people, man. And this is why every gangster you know was either Christian or Muslim. This is why every single gangster you know was a Christian or a Muslim. This is why Tookie Williams was a Muslim, man. This is why all your gangsters was Muslim or Christian. All your killers was Muslim or Christian. I'm sure not Jack the Ripper, but one of them Rippers was a Christian, man. He wanted the Catholic priest there when he was getting executed, man. What was his name? Was it him that wanted the Catholic priest there? Yeah, probably the Yorkshire one of them. There's so much of them, and guess what? Have you noticed all of them are white? All of them are white, man. A black man ain't got that activity in him, man, because it's not in us to be criminals like that. It's not in us to just kill because it feels good. Like white people just wake up one day and be like, I wonder what it's like to kill some. Like it's just in their mind. To them, killing just feels good, because obviously that's what they love to do, man. Kill. But drop that and give me Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. And also, if you got any questions, type them in and we'll get to them.
Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that taketh counsel, but not of me.
That do with what?
Taketh counsel, but not of me.
It says, woe to the rebellious children, man, that take counsel, but not of the Lord, man. That's what we do, man. We take counsel from Boris Johnson, David Cameron, Theresa May. When we're supposed to take counsel of the Lord, and where do you find the counsel of the Lord? In the I.S.U.P.K, man. Come here for it, man. Woe means destruction to the rebellious children. But loads of people voted for who? Theresa May and David Cameron. And then what happened? The same people that voted, they had a charter flight for them, man. Listen, my grandparents was religious, man. My grandma had a white Jesus in the living room. My granddad used to say, don't ever talk bad about the Queen. And obviously my grandparents are dead now, but if they was alive, they would have been on that charter flight, man. They would have been on the charter flight, man. In death, they avoided the charter flight, man. They died before that charter flight, man. And listen, guess what? White people that they loved and trusted so much, that they voted for, that they thought gave them opportunities in life, sent a charter flight. The thing is this, they didn't give you an opportunity in life. What they done is this. They took the whole cake from you and just gave you a crumb, and you're happy with the crumb that they gave you. When the whole cake was supposed to be yours, man. Right. The whole cake belonged to you. The reason the white man can give you a job is because obviously he enslaved you. The reason he can give you houses and charge you cheap rent is because everything that you see is meant to belong to you anyway. This whole world was made for your sakes. This whole world was meant to be yours, and he's giving you what? Free NHS. Free NHS. The Lord gave you this whole world, and the white man steals it and gives you free NHS. And that makes you say, oh, the white man's not too bad. He's gave me free NHS. That makes him the devil, man. Because he's meant to give you this whole world back. Every stone, every concrete, every piece of dirt and mud and soil and grass belongs to you, man. Everything you see is meant to belong to you, man. Listen, all this water that he charges you for, this water belongs to you. He's supposed to be coming up to you, asking you for a drink of water. All this water belongs to you, man. Nowadays, the white man sells soil in B&Q, man. He makes you pay for soil. Things which God gave you for free, man. You have to, listen, you want to plant something, you have to pay for soil. Even some places, you can't even grow fruits in your garden, man. You know why? Because you're going to stop his profits. You can't grow fruits in your garden because you're going to stop his profits. I'm sure you have to pay for the allotments as well, right? You have to pay for the allotments, man. You have to pay for your allotments. And you mean to tell me this man ain't the devil? Everything that was free, you have to now pay for, man. These are the people that you want to rule over you forever. Listen, man. I want a black man by the name of Jesus Christ to rule over me, man. Where soil's free, man. Where water's free, man. Where I can go and there's a well and I can go and drink water, man. This man, you have to pay for water or he turns your water off. You have to pay for everything. Even things that are free, man, you have to pay for. Go ahead.
God, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
And you go for a covering, which is not of the Lord's spirit, man. You want to cover yourself with a British flag, man. You want to cover yourself with what? This English spirit and this Great Britain and this one dream and we're all one and the United Kingdom. You ain't part of this United Kingdom, man. This kingdom that he's talking about that he wants to unite, he ain't talking about you being united with it. You're just the slave that comes with it, man. You see you're like the you see when you order a burger from McDonald's and it comes with a free dip. You're the free dip. Oh. You're the free sauce that comes with the meal, man. Listen, you're the free sauce that comes with the burger. Listen. It's like you being the ketchup feeling important, man. Thinking, well, yeah, I'm part of the Big Mac. I'm part of the big. You ain't part of the Big Mac, man. You're just the free dip that comes with the Big Mac. That's all you are, man. No one thinks about you, man. When you go to McDonald's, you don't just say, you know what, can I have 5 ketchups? Listen, no man, you don't just go around the drive-through for ketchups on its own. Same like the white man, he don't care about you, man. When he talks about uniting his kingdom, he ain't thinking about you. You're just the dip that comes with the fries, man. You're just the free sauce that comes with the fries. That's all you are. Go ahead.
God, cover with the covering, but not of my spirit.
And you cover with the covering which is not of the Lord's Spirit, man. Why are you voting? That is not the Lord's Spirit. Why are you thinking you're part of Great Britain? That's not the Lord's Spirit. Why are you allowing white men to rule over you and putting them in office? That is not the Lord's Spirit. Go ahead.
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin. And you're adding sin to sin. You voted for Theresa May. That was a sin. You voted for David Cameron. That's another sin.
Right.
You voted for Boris Johnson. That's another sin.
Right.
You've added sin onto sin by voting for white people, man. You've added sin onto sin by thinking that you're a white man. You've added sin onto sin by forgetting that you're just a nigger with a watermelon smile, man. All you are is a black man with a watermelon smile. That's what Boris Johnson said. Drop that. Give me Revelation chapter 13 and verse 1.
Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, man. This is talking about the white man, his military might, his countries and so forth. The 7 heads is what? His 7 countries and nations. Go ahead.
And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon their heads
go ahead.
the names of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Jump down to the part where what verse you at?
Verse 2.
Jump down to about verse 4. Is it 4?
Verse 4. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast?
Who is what?
Like unto the beast.
Who is like unto the beast, man? That's what we do, man. We join Christianity and worship white people and say what?
Who is like unto the beast?
We vote for Boris Johnson because what?
Who is like unto the beast?
And this is why we vote for white people, man. Instead of building up our own communities, we say, you know what? This is what we say. Well, you can't beat them. Let's join them. We go and join the beast, man. We go and do what the beast does, man. Go ahead.
Who is like unto the beast? And they worship the beast. Who is able to make war with him?
And they worship the beast, man. And if you vote in, you're worshiping the beast, man. And you've got the mark of the beast. You're a Christian, basically. If you vote in, you're just like any good Christian. You're just trying to be a white man. Go ahead.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies.
And there's given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, man. Listen, man. They speak great things and blasphemies. Oh, we're all one. We're one nation. We're one people. You're part of Great Britain. We're gonna we're gonna follow some of your culture and you follow our culture. We've got one culture. It's all one. Blacks and whites can get along. You're no different to Martin Luther King, man. If you vote, you're a son of Martin Luther King, man. That's what you are. Go ahead.
Speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months.
That's just for a period of time. Go ahead.
And he opened up his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle.
And this is what, and listen, man. This is what white people do and what your religions do. They just blaspheme against God and whatnot. But jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
And this is the white man, man. He does great wonders. He makes fire come down from heaven, meaning what? He drops bombs on people, man. He drops bombs on countries. He causes fire to come down from heaven, man, meaning what? He causes fire to come down from the sky, from his fighter jets. That's what he does. That's the Chinese and whatnot. Go ahead.
On the earth, in the sight of men.
He does this on the earth in the sight of men, man. He drops bombs. Listen. He will kill you from the sky, man. He's got planes which targets one destination. He aims on it and shoots down from the sky, man. And them bombs is precise, man. And what happens when a bomb explodes? Fire comes out of it, man. He causes fire to come down from heaven, man. And that's why people worship him, because people say, you know what? You can't beat them, join them. They say black people's got no military. How can we fight against the white man? Listen, man. Pharaoh had all the chariots. Pharaoh had all the chariots back then. Pharaoh had a great army. And guess what the Lord did? He drowned them in the Red Sea, man.
Right.
The Lord fights for you. And it's spiritual, man. We don't need to pick up no weapons. We just need to serve God, and God will take care, and God will fight for us. It's that simple, man. We ain't have to pick up no weapons. We don't have to storm 10 Downing Street. We just let the Lord take care, man. And guess what? All of them will drop dead. Same how the angel of the Lord did what? Killed every firstborn of the Egyptian. It says in the Egyptian house, there was one dead in every Egyptian house, man. There's one dead in every Egyptian house. Guess what? We didn't pick up no weapons for that.
Right.
We didn't vote for Pharaoh for that. We didn't join Pharaoh's army for that. We didn't do none of that. We listened to Moses and stayed our black ass in the house, man. Moses said, stay your black ass in the house with the blood on the doorpost. And we listened to Moses, and we woke up because the Egyptians, we heard the Egyptians crying, screaming their head off, man. We woke up to the Egyptians crying and screaming, man, because the Lord fought for us, and there was one dead in every house. So why must I vote for my enemies, man, when I see the power of the Lord? Why must I vote for my enemies when I see what the Lord can do, man?
Right.
I don't need to vote for my enemies, and I won't vote for my enemies. Go ahead.
And deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
And listen, man, the white man deceives our people, man, that dwell on the earth. He ain't deceiving us in the UPK, though. Everyone else is deceived. He ain't deceiving us, though. Go ahead.
That dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound.
They made image to the beast, which is what Caesar Borgia and Christianity and whatnot. Go ahead.
Which had a wound by the sword and did live.
Which had a wound by the sword, and that's when the Roman Empire fell, man. That wound is what? When the Roman Empire fell in what was it? 193 AD. 193 AD. When the Roman Empire fell, man. Go ahead. When two black men took down the Roman Empire, man. Go ahead.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many as
the image of the beast is what? Christianity, man. And your white Caesar Borgia, man. That image speaks, man. You see the image. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Love and kindness. Oh, this is so sweet. This man died for everybody. This man loves everybody. You have the picture of white Jesus like this. You see the one when he's got his arms out like this, like, come to me. You have that picture like, come to me. Not really, you not realizing that picture, man. Listen, when I see that picture, I see that I see a white man with a knife behind his back, man. I see him with his hands like this, but he's got a knife behind his back, man. And black heads behind him, man. From previous black people that's already walked towards him, man. Got their damn head cut off joining the white man's religion. Go ahead.
As many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Listen, there was a time, man, when if you didn't worship this image, they'd behead you for it, man. They'd kill you. Go ahead.
And cause of all, both small, great, rich, poor, and free, and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand.
So listen, man. If you're voting for white people, you've received that mark in your hand, man. You've got that mark in your head and in your hand, man. What does your hand represent? Where you carry out your actions. You've got that mark in your hand if you went and voted, man. You carried out your actions while you go to the voting booth, man. You have the mark of the beast if you voted for the white man. Go ahead.
Or in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
That no man might buy or sell.
Go ahead. And that's not talking about what? That's not talking about, listen, that's not talking about you buying an apple or orange, no man buy or sell. Listen, man, you're black from the ghetto, man. You ain't got a thing to sell, man. What have you got to sell? What have black people got to sell? Listen, we can barely buy anything anyway. You think the white man, you think this is talking about you buying a chocolate bar from the shop? This is talking about embargoes in countries, man. This ain't talking about you buying a chocolate bar. This ain't talking about you buying crack. This ain't talking about you buying crack and drugs. It ain't talking about that, man. What have you got to sell, man? What do we have to sell, man? We ain't got nothing to sell, man. Is there anyone that is that about it? Give me Job chapter 35 and verse 9. Black people reading that saying, oh, if we don't take the mark, we can't buy or sell. It's talking about RFID chip. Listen, you ain't got no money to buy anything, and you've got nothing to sell. So that right there leaves you null and void, man. Job 35 and verse 9.
Job 35 and 9. By reason of multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry. They cry out by reason of arm of the mighty.
That's awesome. Read that, press, go ahead.
But none saith, where is God my maker?
And listen, we oppressed and we cry out, but not when we cry out, we don't say what?
But none saith, where is God my maker?
We cry out, but we don't cry out to the Lord, man.
That's right.
We go cry out to white people.
That's right.
We go for the vain help, man, like it said in Lamentations. We know we're oppressed and we know we need help. And what? We don't go to the one person who can help us, man. We go to everybody else except the Lord, man. Like the Bible says, the Lord's hand is not short that it cannot save, man. The Lord's hand ain't short that it can't save, man. We cry out to everyone except the Lord. We go cry out to Theresa May, David Cameron, Boris Johnson. We cry out, man, but we don't cry out to the Lord who can save us. The one person who can save us, we don't want to go to. And this is why we've been in this situation from like what, the damn 1600s, even before that, man. From the damn 1600s. This is why we've been in this situation, because we cry out. Even in Egypt, man, this is what happened in Egypt. The Egyptians was oppressing us. And who did we go and cry to? We went and cried to Pharaoh, man. We went and cried to Pharaoh and said, oh, Pharaoh, it's your people that's beating us because we didn't have no straw or brick to make the, what's it called? And Pharaoh said, listen, go do your work, man. We cried to Pharaoh, man. Why? He was the one that said, take the brick away from us. And that's who we went and cried to. G-Man. What did he do now? Oh, good night. Read on in a moment.
But none saith, where is God my maker, who giveth songs in the night?
And none saith, where is what?
God my maker.
And none of us say that, man. None of us go to our maker, but we want to go to everybody else. It's time we go to our creator, man, and cry out to the Lord, man. So our cries reach up to heaven, man, like it did in Egypt, and then we can get done with this place. Our cries can reach the Lord, man, and then we will be out of this place. But we keep crying to the white man. Them cries ain't going nowhere, man. Them cries just go to the white man, and it goes in one ear and comes out the next, and just laughs at you. Just laughs at you and sends you out of his office. That's all he does, man. Whereas if we cry to the Lord, our cries will go somewhere, man. Give me First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. Got a proper over there. You need this one. You got one. First Maccabees 1, verse 11. All right, we're going to go into the Apocrypha. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. We've always had sellouts in our nation, man, that want to vote and that want to join white people.
First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
It says in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. We've always had wicked men in our nation that want to tell us to vote, that want to tell us to love white people, that want to tell us to join them. Go ahead. There's always been traitors in our nation. Go ahead.
Who persuaded many.
Who what?
Persuaded many.
And you have many Uncle Ruckuses. You have many Uncle Ruckuses and Uncle Toms in our nation that persuade many to vote, that say, oh, how do you expect change to come if you don't vote? That's what they say, man. We've always had wicked men in our nation. We've always had sellouts in our nation, man, that want to force us to go and vote, want to force us to go and make allegiance with white people. Go ahead.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Saying, let us what?
Go and make a covenant with the heathen.
And that's what they say. Let us go and make an agreement with the heathen. Why do we need a covenant with the heathen when we've got a covenant with the Lord, man? How much covenants do you want at one time? You have a covenant with the Lord, man. You ain't meant to make no covenant with the heathen. The Lord don't want you to make a covenant with the heathen. Go ahead.
That are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So since what?
We departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
And this is what our people say. Since we've departed from them, we've had much sorrow, man. Since we've departed from them, life's been hard. These people right here don't want to be separate, man. These people right here want to live the American dream and the great British dream. These people right here want to love on Boris Johnson, want to love on white people. These people right here want a full English with extra pork and all the trimmings. That's what these people right here want, man. Because since they've left the heathen, they've had much sorrow. Meaning what? They can't function without white people, man.
Right.
White people's their lover and they just can't live without them. They can't function without them. Go ahead.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people,
And this device, it pleased them, man. It pleased them. Go ahead.
then certain of the people were forward hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
It gave them what?
License to do after the ordinance of all the heathen.
And listen, man. You love white people because the white man gave you license to vote. He's gave you license to what? Do whatever manner of evil you want. He's gave you license to what? Join the LGBTQ community. He's gave you license to what? Be a strong, independent black woman. The Lord ain't gave you the license to do these things, but the white man has. I'm a strong, independent black woman. I'm so sick of hearing that term, man. He's gave you license to do all these things, man. Every day I can't flick through the internet without seeing what men are trash. And listen, man, I'm getting sick of seeing it, man. And when people say men are trash, really, you know the only one about black men, right? Men are trash. Men are trash. Listen, man, I'm so sick of seeing it, man. I'm gonna lose my mind if I see it one more time. Everywhere I go, I see men are trash. I hear men are trash. It's starting to do my head in now, man. I need to stop hearing it. Everywhere I go, men are trash. Men are trash. Men are trash. Listen, man. The white man's gave you a license to say that nonsense, man. The white man gave you that license to disrespect a black man and say men are trash. Same how the white man gave TLC the license to call black men scrubs. The white man gave you that license, man. The Lord didn't never give you that license. Go ahead.
God. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
Yeah, basically, this is the white man when he set up his gym stadiums and whatnot. His what's it called? Gymnasium. He set up his gymnasium, his gladiator stuff, his Olympics, his football stadiums, his boxing, all of those kind of things. But yeah, that's going into something else. But give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. The Lord ain't never gave you that license, man. The Lord tells you what you can and can't do in his covenant. That covenant there is the white man's covenant. Men are trash. That saying is the white man's covenant. I'm an independent black woman. That is the white man's covenant. I can do it all by myself. I don't need a man. That is in the white man's covenant. That ain't in the Lord's covenant. You need to read the Lord's terms and conditions in his agreement, man. Because that's not in his agreement. That's in the white man's agreement that you've done, joined yourself onto. Go ahead.
Leviticus 20:26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people.
And of what?
Severed you from other people.
And severed means what? To separate, man. To separate. Now, if it says, "Oh, someone severed his arm," that means his arm's been cut off, man. He severed his arm, like his arm's been cut off. The Lord severed you from other people. The Lord don't want you doing what other people do. The Lord don't want you voting for who other people vote for. The Lord don't want you having other nations over you, man. The Lord don't want you doing that, man. The Lord has decided who should be over you, man. Give me Job chapter 20 and verse 4. What verse did it get taken to get? Was it Job? Oh yeah, Job chapter 20 verse 4.
Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old? Since man
Don't you know
was
this?
placed,
Don't you know this from old man? You should know this from long time ago. Go ahead.
since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short.
That the what?
Triumphing of the wicked is short.
Listen, man. These white people you love so much. The triumph. Say that word.
Triumphing of the wicked is
The
short.
triumphing of the wicked is short, man. These white people's reign is short, man. Their reign is gonna come to an end, man. They're the wicked. You thinking that their kingdom's gonna you thinking you joining their kingdom, thinking their kingdom's gonna go on forever. It's not going to go on forever, man. It's short. Go ahead.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, man. This white man's joy, and everyone that votes for Boris Johnson, and everyone that loves Boris Johnson, your joy is only going to be for a minute, man. Soon that joy is going to come crushing down, man, when Boris Johnson resigns. When Boris Johnson resigns, like everybody else resigns because they can't handle it. Go ahead.
Though his excellency mount up to the heavens.
Listen, you see Boris Johnson excelling. You see Great Britain excelling. You see white people excelling. You see mounting up to the heavens, man. Go ahead.
And his head reach up to the clouds.
And his head reach up to the clouds, man. You see them at the top, living good, thinking that this, thinking that that. Go ahead.
Yet he shall perish forever.
Yet he shall what?
Perish forever.
All these people that you love so much is going to perish forever, man. Because the Lord ain't with them. The Lord ain't for white people. The Lord's with black and Hispanics and Native Indians, man. And you're going to perish also if you keep voting for them white people. You're going to die right along with them, man. Go ahead.
Like his own dung, they which have seen him shall say, where is he?
They which have seen him shall say, where is he, man? Listen, Tony Blair was in office one time. Listen, where is he, man? Where is he now? Do you know where Tony Blair is now? Where's Tony Blair now, man? Where's Margaret Thatcher now? Where's Theresa May now? Since Theresa May moved out of 10 down, where's Theresa May live now? This is what I'm saying, man. Where is he, man? This is what happens once these people go in office and out of office. Like, where is he, man? Go ahead.
He shall fly away as a dream.
He shall what?
He shall fly away as a dream.
And this is what happens to everyone that you put in office. They fly away as a dream, man. They're forgotten. Some of them are dead. You don't even like who? What's her name? Margaret Thatcher. Some of them are dead, never to be remembered again. Some of them you ain't never seen them since. Who's seen Tony Blair since? Is Tony Blair even still alive?
Yeah, look at that.
He's still alive. See, I would have thought it was dead. It's been that quiet, man. But Tony Blair did what? Flew away like a dream, man. Go ahead.
God. And shall not be found, yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Listen, man. That's what happens to all these people that you love so much. Give me a Luke chapter 17 and verse 20. Tony Blair's so quiet. I thought he was dead, man. I might have to see where he's been, man. Because I ain't heard from Tony Blair in years, man. Yo, Tony Blair had all the answers one time, man. Damn, Tony Blair had all the answers, man. Had black people saying, yeah, Labour. Tony Blair had all the answers, man. And now Tony Blair's nowhere to be seen. I want some questions answered, man. Someone find Tony Blair for me. I want some questions answered. Go ahead.
Luke 17:20.
Yeah.
Luke 17:20. And when he was demanding of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come.
And the Pharisees was lazy and just was asking when the kingdom of heaven should come. They just thought, yeah, the kingdom of heaven is just bam. It's just going to be here overnight, just like that. Go ahead.
He answered and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation.
The kingdom of God don't come with observation. All these other people, these Christians and people voting, is waiting for God's kingdom to just appear on the earth, thinking, oh yeah, we're just going to get heaven just like that. No, man. It don't come with observation. What does it mean? What does observation mean? For you to just sit and watch and observe. You need to build the kingdom, man. In order for you to build the kingdom of God, first and foremost, you need to stop voting for white people. Second, you need to separate yourself, man. Third, you need to only care about your own people. Fourth, you need to stop being a criminal and so forth. The kingdom of heaven don't come with observation. It takes work, man. The kingdom of heaven is like what? It's like building a house, man. You see, if you was going to build a house, you're not just going to look at the bricks and think, yeah, the house is going to build itself. You have to do the work, man. You have to get cement. You have to get the mixer. You have to get the measurements. Building a house don't come with observation, and building the kingdom of the Lord don't come with observation also, man. You have to do work, man. I mean, you're looking at the white man's house thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to wait for my house to just come from this. Listen, it don't work like that, man. You have to build it. You think what? The house is just going to come from the sky? Listen, man, it don't work like that, man. Nothing works like that, man. I've been looking at that pile of washing for 3 days, man, thinking it's going to wash itself, and it ain't, man. I have to do it myself, man. Listen, the kingdom of heaven, well, my rib does it wash it. Everybody gets the point. The kingdom of heaven don't come with observation, man. You can't just sit there and think, blah, 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 blah. You have to do that work, man. Go ahead. Yeah, read that again from the top.
And when he would demand it of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation.
Don't come with observation. Give me a second, Ezra 6:54. It don't come by you just sitting down. It don't come by you voting for Boris Johnson. Listen, the white man didn't get his kingdom by observation, man. He got his kingdom by robbery and murder and everything, man. And I'm not saying we're going to get our kingdom that way, but that's how he got his kingdom, man. He didn't even get his by observation. Listen, he didn't make you a slave by observation, man. He had to get them ships. He had to get a sailor. Right. He had to get supplies. And he had to take that ship to come and get you, man. That didn't happen by observation, man. He didn't say, my sugar cane needs to be picked. Let me just sit down on this hammock and make the sugar cane pick itself. He had to get a black man to pick that sugar cane, man. And then once he had that slave, that's when the sugar cane came by observation, man. By him just observing that black man pick the sugar cane, man. That's the only thing he got from observation is what? Observing the black man pick the sugar cane and the cotton, man. But he had to initially get off his behind, think of a plan, take a ship, and put you on there and bring you back to pick his cane, man. And then from all that, he set up loan companies, bank companies, he set up rental companies, he set up hospitals, banks, he set up the NHS, he set up all these things. All these things didn't come from observation. Even the white man who's dumb understood that if he wanted to be rich and wealthy, someone has to be a slave, man. He understood that. He just didn't sit down and think, oh yeah, I want a slave. He went out and got slaves, man. Saying like, you want this kingdom, we have to go out and build it. This ain't the thing where you just can sit back with your feet up all day. Go ahead.
After these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures.
The Most High made Adam Lord over everything, man. Go ahead.
Of him come we all.
Go ahead.
And the people also of whom thou was chosen.
And the people also of whom all his creatures. Go ahead.
Of him come we all.
Of him come we all. Now the reason it says of Adam come we all, because what? Noah and his 3 sons came from Adam's lineage. So that's what it say. And all the people on the earth at this time was part of that lineage, because this is post-flood. So this is after the flood. Go ahead. When everyone came out of Noah's 3 sons, which was all descendants of Adam. So that's what it says, from Adam come we all. Because you have some fake Israelites that will say, see, people say Adam wasn't the only man on earth. And they will try and use this and say, oh, from Adam come we all. The reason it says from Adam come we all, because this is post-flood. And Noah came from Adam, and Noah's 3 sons also came from Adam. Go ahead.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen. The people who the Lord chose came from Adam also, which is us. Go ahead.
All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
And the Lord made the world for our sakes. So why must I be happy with just a crumb when the whole world was made for my sakes, man? The whole point of the Lord making this world was for you, man. It was for you. And the white man just wants to give us a crumb of it. Go ahead.
And as for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
And as for what?
The other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
And the other people which also come of Adam, the Lord has said they are nothing. The Chinese, the Japanese, the white man, the Africans, all these other nations, man, the Hawaiians, and so forth. The Lord said, what? These people are nothing, man. So why should I put nothing over me? The Lord said the nothing. So straight away, that should make me think, why am I going to a voting booth to fight, to put a people over me who the Lord couldn't give a damn about? Go ahead.
Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
Be like unto spittle, man. The Lord said these nations is like spit. You see, like when you see, like if you're talking and you see if spit comes out of your mouth, you don't gather up that spit. It's nothing, man. That's like the white man. He's like spittle, man. Go ahead.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
And he's likened the abundance of them that falleth to a drop that falleth from a vessel. So if you got a big bucket of water and one drop, one teeny weeny drop falls from the bucket, the Lord said all these nations together is like that one drop that falls from a bucket. You don't even, who cares? It's just one droplet, man. The Lord said these nations is like one droplet that falls from a bucket. Go ahead.
And now, Lord, behold these heathen which thou hast ever been reputed as nothing.
And now the heathens which the Lord has reputed as nothing. Go ahead.
Reputed as nothing, have now begun to be lords over us.
And now they've become to be lords over us. And Ezra says, yes, can't understand why these people have become lords over us, man. We should be asking the same thing. Damn, how did these people become lords over us? The reason they became lords over us is because what? We disobeyed God, man. You shouldn't be happy with them being a lord over you, man. You shouldn't be happy having to rush to work, almost crashing your car because you don't want the white man to give you the sack. You shouldn't be happy having to take orders from a white man at work, having to say, oh yeah, that's my boss, having to say, oh yeah, boss, I got a doctor's appointment on Friday, can I go? And he says no. Listen, man, you shouldn't be happy living like that, man. How can you be happy living like that? These people who the Lord said are nothing. Go ahead.
And to devour us.
And what?
And to devour us.
And now they've become lords over us. And now they've begun to devour us. They've become lords over us. And now they've started to kill us. Go ahead.
But we thy people, who thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy favorite lover, are given into their hands.
And now I was just saying, damn, these people who are nothing, the people you love, we've been given into those people who are nothing's hands. As I was just saying all this to the Lord. Go ahead.
If the world now be made for our sake.
So he's saying, if the Lord's made for our sakes, because when we say the Lord's made for our sakes, black people must be thinking, what are they on about? The Lord's made for our sakes? Because we don't own nothing. We don't run nothing. Go ahead.
Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Go ahead.
How long shall this endure?
How what?
How long shall this endure?
How long shall this endure, man? Ezra is asking, how long shall this endure, man? That these heathens are going to rule over us? Let me give you the answer to that, man. This is going to endure as long as you keep voting for Boris Johnson.
Right.
As long as you keep voting for white people, they're going to continue to be lords over us. As long as you keep loving them, as long as you refuse to separate yourself, they're going to remain lords over us, man. That's how long it's going to last. Go ahead. Jump to verse 7. Chapter 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 1.
Ecclesiastes, bro.
No, same book. Is it second or 7?
Yeah.
Second.
The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall.
So now it says the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Meaning what? This place is dangerous, and you have to, be very on the ball to make it across. Go ahead.
Like as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water.
Says, and if there was like fire on the right hand and on the left the deep water, which means what? You go to the right, you're going to drop in the fire. You go to the left, you're going to drown in the water. Go ahead.
And one only path between them both.
And one only path between them both. So you got fire on one side, water on one side, and there's a thin path, and you have to stay on that straight. That's like us, man. In order to get our kingdom, we have to stay on the straight. But guess what? Most Christians that you come across don't want to stay on the straight. So they are going to vote for Boris Johnson and Donald Trump because they know that it's set in a dangerous place and they can't be asked to try and they don't want to fight and they don't want to give up weed and drugs. Go ahead.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could only one man go there at once.
So small that only one man could go there at a time, which means what? You have to seek your own salvation, man. You can only do this for yourself. You can't do this because of your friends. You can't do this for anyone else. You have to do this for yourself, man. Walk this walk. Go ahead. Nobody can't carry you because it's only one man can go at a time. Go ahead.
If the city now was given to a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
And you know what? In order for us to get our kingdom, in order for us to be on top, we have to make it past this dangerous place. But most of our people ain't willing to do that. So guess what they do? They say, you know what? Let's just join the white man's kingdom because I can't be asked to, give up weed. I can't be asked to give up drugs. I can't be asked to give up being a hoe. What do they say? Being a hoe is life. I can't be asked to give up being a hoe. This is a hot girl summer. You heard that saying, hot girl summer? It's a hot girl summer. I'm a city girl and so forth. I mean, they want to be city girls. So, I mean, how do I expect them to not vote for Boris Johnson then? They want to have a hot girl summer, which means they want to be a whole summer. How do I expect them not to vote for Boris Johnson then? How do I expect them not to vote for Boris Johnson? How do I expect them to want to come on this path if they want to vote for Boris Johnson and whatnot? Go ahead.
And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so, or Israel's portion.
Even what?
Even so is Israel's portion.
So even so is Israel's portion, man. You have to get through that danger zone, man. You have to start all this men of trash nonsense. I'm an independent black woman. I do this all by myself. Listen, man. You do this all by yourself, man. When you have an oil leak, on the car, you don't know where to start. You be driving around with the car with all the lights on, man. Smoke coming from the bonnet, not knowing what the symbol means on the car. But you can do it all by yourself. You don't even know when your tire ain't got enough tread on there, but you can do it all by yourself. Go ahead.
Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed.
What verse? Yeah, and basically, we have to fight, man. You're not just gonna get this kingdom easy just like that. You ain't gonna get it just like that, man. Give me Matthew chapter 13 and verse 31. You have to walk this walk, man. You have to live it in order for us to get our kingdom, man. But you're so comfortable in the white man's when you just vote for him and be like, you know what? You just see it as this. Well, I can't ever see black people getting the kingdom. Let me just vote for the white man. No, man. We're gonna get one, man. And it would be a blessing if you was going to be part of it. But if you don't want to be part of it, that's totally up to you. I guess we're just going to have to continue without you. Because either way, the Lord's kingdom on earth will be established, whether you're part of it or whether you're not a part of it. So that's up to you. Do you want to be a part of it? Get in the I.S.U.P.K. If you don't want to be a part of it, go join the GOCCO, one of the other groups. If you don't, if you don't want to be a part of it, go join the GOCC. So like, yeah, go ahead.
Matthew 30:21. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed.
And listen, man, the kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed. What's a mustard seed? Something so small that you think it ain't gonna grow, man. You think it ain't gonna grow, man. Go ahead.
Which a man took and sowed it in.
And right about now, you look at us building the Lord's kingdom now, raising brothers up. You look at it like this. That's small as a mustard seed, man. You look at it like now, there's only a few of them, man. How are they going to get a kingdom and there's only a few of them? Listen, man, this starts off as a mustard seed. Go ahead.
Which indeed is the least of all seeds.
Which indeed is what? The least of all seeds. Go ahead.
And when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs.
And when it is grown, it is the greatest amongst herbs, man. And listen, speaking of this being the least of all the seeds, us black men right now, we like the least desired on the face of the earth, man. But guess what? When we're in our glory, we're going to be the greatest thing on the face of this earth, man. We like fine gold, like it says in the Bible. At this present time, what are we now? We're alcoholics, we crackheads, we on drugs. We least at this present stage. But once we clean all these brothers up, we're going to be the greatest thing to ever be on the face of this earth, man. Same like this mustard seed was the least of seeds in the beginning, and then in the end, it's the greatest one. That's like us, man. We're the least right now, but we're going to be the greatest thing on the face of the earth later on. And if you don't believe me, like I said, the kingdom of heaven don't come with observation, but you can, if you want, you can observe us build this kingdom. You can observe us build it, man, if you don't want to get on in here. Because we ain't going to observe it with you. While you observe, we out doing the work and building this kingdom. What do you want to do? Be an observer, or do you want to come and build it too? That's totally up to you. I know what I would do if I was you. Go ahead.
And becometh a tree, so that birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof.
Go ahead.
Another parable he spake unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. All these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables, and without parables spake he not unto them.
So like you read that verse again about the living.
The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal.
This is leaven, man. What does leaven do? Leaven rises, man. And listen, man. Us, we rising throughout this earth, man. Teaching law, statutes, and commandments, man. And this is why at Passover, you had brothers from the East Coast and brothers from the West Coast in the same room, man. Brothers that come from Tupac's neighborhood, man. And brothers that come from Biggie's neighborhood in the same room, man. And no one shot at no one, man. No one threw up at East Coast or the West Coast, man. Everyone was one, man. Everyone was one West, man. It was all one, man. And that's what we do in building this kingdom. Go ahead.
Till the whole was leaven.
Actually, you can drop that. You can drop that. Give me Lamentations 5 and 7. Get me in the book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 7. Also, any questions, whether on topic, off topic, type them in, or if not, if you don't want to type them in, or if you ain't got none, bring them tomorrow. Officer Parasha will answer them for you.
Lamentations 5 and 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not.
Our fathers have sinned and are not, man. Our fathers sinned and are not. Because our fathers transgressed the law. We in England right now, man. Because our fathers voted, we in England right now. Go ahead.
And we have borne their iniquities.
And we have carried their iniquities, man. Our fathers sinned and we carried their iniquities. Listen, our ancestors that I've never met sinned. And now I'm in England, man. We carried their iniquities. Go ahead.
And we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us.
Servants rule over us for that reason, man. Because our forefathers sinned and we carry their iniquities. We carry their transgressions, man. We punished for all those things, man. Go ahead.
There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand.
Go ahead.
We get our bread.
Actually, listen, give me Numbers 14 and 18. So I'm gonna quickly show you something. Our fathers sinned, and we carrying their iniquities right now because of the wrong that they done. So because of the wrong that they done, every wrong you do, just understand there's some kind of punishment, or your kids have to be punished for it, and so forth. We being punished for what our forefathers did, man. Give me Numbers 14 and 18.
Numbers 14 and 18. The Lord is long suffering and of great mercy.
The Lord is long suffering and of great mercy. Go ahead.
Forgiving iniquity and transgression.
Forgiving sins and transgression. Go ahead.
And by no means clearing the guilty. visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
And listen, the Lord visits the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. So the children, we got punished for what our fathers did. So listen to this. If we don't want our children to get punished for what we do, how about we start serving God so they can be blessed by what we do, man? How about we do the right thing so God can bless our children and not punish them, man? How about we stop voting for Boris Johnson, man? Listen, if our ancestors, our great grandmas in the 50s and the 60s and whatnot, didn't come to Britain and help build up this place, there would be no such thing as a charter flight, man. If they didn't vote for the white man, put Theresa May in office and so forth, our kids wouldn't be getting punished for things in the near future, man. Every action we do, there's some kind of punishment for it, man. Every wrongdoing that we do. So why don't we do the right thing and serve God so our children can be blessed in the future? Imagine this. I don't want to have to die to come back to still be a slave in England, man.
Right.
How about we do the right thing? So when we die and come back in the reincarnation, I can be on the beach in Israel somewhere, man. I can be lying on the beach, man. You women can be lying there with sand between your toes, not having to do a 9-5. Listen, man, how about we start serving God, man? So our children can be blessed, man. Stop being selfish and stop thinking about yourself, man. Listen, if you don't want to do it for yourself, at least do it for your future children, man. Don't be so damn selfish. Because we born our fathers' iniquities. How about we make our kids carry our blessings by doing the right thing and serving God, man? How about we do that, man? And then let me just quickly get the last one. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse. Actually, then again, for time's sake. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, all right, give me Deuteronomy 17 and verse 14.
Deuteronomy 17 and 14. When thou art coming to the land which the Lord thy God gives thee.
So this is when we was in the wilderness. The Lord's telling us what to do when we go in the land. Go ahead.
And shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and say, I will set a king over me, like
and
all
the
the
Lord
nations.
said, when we say we're going to set a king over us, like as all the nations, because all the nations back then had a king over them. Like today, Boris Johnson in today is a king over the United Kingdom. Donald Trump is what? The king over America. So Boris Johnson is a king. You put a white man as a king over you. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God what shall choose.
And he goes, you're supposed to set a king over you who the Lord choose. And the Lord didn't choose Boris Johnson, a dumb white man that can't make a sandwich. Go ahead.
One from among thy brethren.
Choose one from among your brethren, man. The Lord said you have to set someone over you. That's your brother. Boris Johnson is not your brother. I don't have to tell you that. Basically, what the Lord's saying right there is, don't set Boris Johnson over you, man. Go ahead.
Shall thou set over thee? Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Thou mayest what?
Not set a stranger over thee.
Boris Johnson, thou mayest what?
Not set a stranger over thee.
David Cameron.
Thou shalt not set a stranger over thee.
Theresa May.
Thou shalt not set a stranger over thee.
And this is in the law, man, which is letting you know what? You voting for Boris Johnson is a sin. David Cameron is a sin. Theresa May is a sin. The Lord said you shouldn't set a stranger over you. How the hell do you expect the Lord to come and redeem you when you're just disobeying his every word, man? Every time the elections comes around, you set a stranger over you, disobeying God's words, man. The Lord said, don't put no Boris Johnson over you, man. Don't put no Theresa May over you, but we keep doing it, man. Maybe if we'd listened to God, we would have been out of this situation by now, man. But we don't listen to God. We don't listen to God, so guess what? Just enjoy Boris Johnson ruling over you then.
Right.
Just enjoy 20,000 more police officers on the streets now.
Right.
Just enjoy the white man further oppressing you, man. Just enjoy it, man. Because it's your own doing by setting Boris Johnson over you, man. We've told you time and time again not to vote, but obviously black people just keep voting. So what can I tell you? I guess Boris Johnson just has to show you that he's the devil, because you ain't going to believe me. And with that, that brings us to the end of the class. We're going to do the announcements and then we're out of here.
With the I.S.U.P.K, started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General GEN.YAHANNA. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10 for the Hebrew Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Priest fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, the Feast of Trumpets. Or I check the bulletin board in the hallway. And remember, check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be true from the school, start wearing all black boots, black shirt, black pants, black hat, black headscarf. With that, I Mariam. And the Lord's Prayer. Brothers and sisters. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kudash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malach of Ka, Taba'ah, Ratizaga, Haya, Aisha, Baratiza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Lefanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawafanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Sabayainawa, Banasayawan, Abba. Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha Wahafapara, La'Iwalamyam, Amen.
In English, our Father,
which
art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come,
thy
will be done,
in earth,
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day,
Our daily bread, forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debt,
and we forgive our debtors,
as we forgive our debtors,
lead us not
and lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
forever. So be it. And the prayer for the power of the Hakka, Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Baba Kushah, the Faninawa, Hakka, Lara Ba'a, Kal Makla, or Kal Madawa, Hakka, Lataha, Hamad Hazarayim, Hakka, Lahakwiyam, Hamafiyam, Hakka, Arakawa, Hatama Allah, the Garashan, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Tuwala Aman.
In the English, Yahweh,
in the
name of Yahushua,
please
give us the power,
to heal,
all manner of sickness,
all manner of
disease,
and all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to cleanse the
the power to raise the dead,
the power to raise the
the power
dead,
against unclean spirits,
the power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out,
to cast them
in
out.
the name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. And the blessings, Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushua, Wa Miyaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matah Zabi'ah, Allah Wakihana, Ha Allah Wakir, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwatazayayim, Ha Kayayayim, Wa Wafyam, Yahweh, Wa Hashem Yahushua, Wa Aman.
in the English, bless you, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
and Yahushua,
and
Michael,
Michael,
the angels,
and the angels,
and the general Yohanan,
commanding General
the
Yohanan,
generals,
the general,
the captains,
the officers, the
the
troopers,
sisters,
and the sisters,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
thank you.
so be it.
The curse is blessed be Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
all things living,
and all things living,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of
listen
Yahushua,
to us now,
listen to us now,
right now,
and
evils,
and evils,
curses,
and curses,
punishment,
and punishment, destruction,
the heathen,
to the heathen,
that speak against us,
that speak against
the
us,
prophets,
the prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the
the
princes,
priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
the Israelite brothers,
and the school,
and the schools,
and evils,
and evils,
curses,
and curses,
punishment,
and punishment,
destruction,
destruction,
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose,
and shake
the
loose
treasure
the treasure
of the rich
of
of Israel,
Israel,
refuse
that
to
refuse
give to the school,
to give to the school,
force their riches,
force their riches,
to enter into thy sanctuary,
to enter into thy sanctuary,
evils,
and evils,
curses,
and curses,
punishment,
and punishment,
destruction,
and destruction,
Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and the nations,
and the nations,
and the drug dealers,
and the drug
the
dealers,
court system,
the court
the
system,
prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Roman Catholic Church,
Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
Pascal Matazi,
Pastor
the gay movement,
the gay
the
movement,
lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
army,
army,
navy,
navy,
Air
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet,
open up the internet
and the airways,
and the airways,
cable access channels,
the cable access
the
channels,
radio channels,
and the radio channels.
convict the spirit,
Convict the spirit
many of thy people,
of any of thy people
that seek to stop
that
us,
seek to stop
and
us
bring swift destruction,
and bring swift destruction
all the heathen,
to all the heathen
that stand in the way,
that stand in the way
try to stop us,
or try to stop us
broadcasting your words,
from broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth,
throughout the planet Earth.
let loose,
All
all the plagues,
the plagues,
cause them to go,
cause them to
to
go
and fro,
to and
through
fro
the earth,
to the earth
and consume them,
and consume them.
let the plagues,
Let the plague
shake the house,
shake the
of
house
the thief,
of the
and
thief
the murderer,
and the murderer.
and Yahushua,
Let Yahushua
Michael,
and Michael
and Gabriel,
and Gabriel
come down,
come down,
flying saucers,
the flying saucers,
to show the heathens,
and punish all the heathen
come up against us,
that come up against
to
us
speak thy word,
as we speak thy
cause
word,
it to be known,
cause it to be
by
known
all,
by all
that the angels,
that it is the
that
angels
have done it,
that have done
cause
it,
it to be spread
cause it to be spread
through the media,
through the media
throughout the whole world,
throughout the whole
cause
world,
them to shake,
cause it to shake
at thy coming,
at thy coming,
in the name of Yahushua,
and name Yahushua.
thank you,
Thank you, always, so be it. May the blessed Israel Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Hashem Yahushua,
Barak Nawa,
Barak Noah,
Wa Yasha'ala,
Yahshua,
Wahabaya,
Mahabaya,
Sapaya,
Mariam,
Barak Rapah,
Barak Rapah,
Magan Hagan,
Hagan,
the Golden family,
Gordon family,
Aiden,
Aiden, or Israel,
all Israel, Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Hashem Yahushua,
the word of man.
Amen.
And what we said was, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school, bless you, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. And we doubt that you one place, the teacher, men of Israel, and Malik Shabbat, and Mariam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barakatah,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Barakafam.
Yajabata, and class dismissed.